behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview coming up shortly. But don't forget about that subscribe button and bells below you there. And anytime you click those, you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And if you'd like to leave a comment on the comments section, go ahead. We'd love to hear from you. And pay attention to the description part of this episode. You'll see our contact info. And pay attention to the closing credits of the show, because contact info will be there as well. So we hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Harlem, New York, we have Woozie Wooz with us today, a very talented artist, and I think you're really going to like it. I think you'll like the song at the end, too. And we're going to get to that in 1 second, but first, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show and TLC Travel Agency. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Harlem, New York, we have Woozie Wooz with us today. Thanks for joining us, Woozie.
Happy every day to everybody.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Have you always wanted to be an artist? I mean, like when you were a kid, or did that come much later? I mean, tell us in your own words. We'd love to hear your story.
I caught the bug. I went to this talent show in this church in Harlem, and I was probably like 10, something like that. Nah, it was over there at the church on 100. What was that? 120. I think it's 129th, 5th, and Madison and Park Avenue over there. And they used to have talent shows in this church. And one day I was just over there playing basketball. They had a basketball court and they had the talent show. Because I'm Harlem born, Bronx raised, but I was in Harlem that day, and I went to the talent show. And these girls was on stage, people was on stage, and they were showing their talent, and it really like caught me. Because I seen how everybody was like really paying attention to these people that was on the stage. And it caught me too, because I was really like intrigued by it. So from that day right there, I was kind of like caught the bug for the stage. Should I say? It wasn't even music; it was just the stage, really, for me.
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you found your calling in life, and hopefully you got many more years ahead of you.
Yes, sir. Definitely do.
Well, what would your particular artist say you loved when you were growing up to help inspire you? Do you have a few in mind?
Let me see. There's so many. Curtis Blow.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Fat Boys,
Mm-hmm.
Run DMC, KRS One, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, EPMD, De La Soul. No, it's a lot of people that I'm influenced by, when I was growing up. But really, like the true school artists, I don't call them old because they true school artists, like, brothers like from the 80s and the 90s. Those artists was very impactful in my life as far as hip hop go.
Okay,
All
yeah.
the,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
now, all the brothers from the 80s and sisters from the 90s that was doing their thing influenced me heavily. Ultramagnetic MCs. You know what I mean? Who else I can? There's so many to name. You know what I mean? I can't say Jay-Z, Nas, and 50 and none of them because they came later. To me.
Yeah, a lot of those fans, those artists you mentioned, I loved a lot of them. I think to me, the Fat Boys were probably one of the top ones that you mentioned that I loved.
Yeah, because it was, to me, back then hip hop was more fun. It wasn't so much personal. It was more fun. Because gangs was running rapid back then. We got gangs now, but we had them back then too, but they wasn't Bloods or Crips. And hip hop was formed for the gangs to do something besides fight and kill each other. That was the meaning that was what hip hop was really meant for. But it's crazy, in this day and time, it's reversed. Now hip hop is made for us to kill each other and disgrace each other and disrespect each other. But that was not the whole purpose of hip hop.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean there. Well, why don't you tell us where we can locate you? I mean, you may have an official web address, or maybe you're on social media. Maybe you have everything on your streaming sites. I mean, tell everybody where we can find you.
You can find me on Woozie Wooz, WOOZIE space WOOZ, because there's a lot of copycats out there. So I am the original Woozie Wooz. You know what I mean? I have proof to show that. I had a record out in 90. This record right here, man, I did this for Sed G from the Ultramagnetics MCs, right? It's called Longevity. It's called Longevity, right? This was put out in the 90s. All right, vinyl. This is old vinyl. All right, so anybody else that say they Woozie Wooz or anything, they lying. They caught it from a wave or heard it and ran with it. But you can catch me on all platforms with that name, Woozie Wooz, WOOZIE space WOOZ. Or you could go to my IG. It's Splack, SPLAK USA 1. I'm gonna say it again. My IG is Splack, SPLAK USA 1. You can also find me on Facebook, Snapchat, OG Splack, TikTok, Woozie Wooz 125. I'm out there. Google me. Just Google me. You'll find me.
Okay, and that means all streaming sites too, like Amazon Music.
All streaming sites.
Okay. All right. Well, look up Woozie Wooz on all streaming platforms and official sites he just mentioned to you, and I know you won't disappoint, or he won't. I mean, and he will love you for that. And we're gonna go right to the song here. It's called Black DeVille, and it's a really great song too. I'm sure there's a story behind it. I mean, I know you already explained what splat means, but is there a story behind the song and the video as well? Or?
Well, this song is like my theme music. Every hip hop artist must have their theme music, like to represent them when they step on stage and let people know who they is and where they come from and what they about. And this is that. This is my theme music. It tells you a little bit about, it tells you a lot about me and my life from my younger years to my older years. Takes me from my younger years to my older years in this song.
Okay, yeah, and that is true. Everybody should have something that identifies with himself, and I think this definitely does. It's a great song, as I said, and we'll begin to that in just a second. But before we do, Woozie Wooz, we want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Appreciate you.
We would love to have you back again sometime if you got anything new to plug for us.
Anytime. I'm working on some things, so I have a couple of videos I'm about to drop in a minute. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, here's Black DeVille by Woozie Wooz. It begins right now.
DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. I said, let me introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. And let me introduce myself. Splat feeling #1, hit him with another one. Been doing what's done since the day #1. Chorus mix Dixon with the red cummerbund. With the red bow tie, yeah, I thought it was fly. Getting high school, might splash in your daughter. Still going strong in the third, ready for the fourth quarter. Gray hair, silverback, still ripping the track. When you're doing a damn thing, that's definition of splat. Spectacular, splagnificent, splackerific. I'm more splacked out, that's just to be specific. Rep the East Coast, but I coast the Pacific. Ocean in motion, cause I rock the boat different. Upliftment, I'm so uplifting. You don't wanna drown when the tide starts shifting. Going other ways while we doing other things. We the villains that be killing while we overthrowing kings. Let me show you things, I can take you there. This is New York City, clown, where you might not make it here. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. I said, let me introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. And let me introduce myself. They call me Splat. Been strong before hip-hop song. Hip-hop is a whole when you splacking the wrong. Attacking the song, up in the ass like a thorn. And she opened up the door for me with nothing on. I step in, that's when the party begins. But when you step up on the scene, that's when the party will end. You pretend you offend some real men. Blackville, ENT, yeah, let them in. We get panties on the stage, magnums at the door. More women than men, yeah, at the dance floor. Me or more, she came from out of town. She said she fell in love and yeah, she wanna move uptown. She feels safe whenever she around. Dancing to my song, girl, here, let me put you down. It's Blackville, never too far to walk. Let me take you somewhere and I can make your lips talk. Talking to me, baby. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. And let me introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. They call me Splat. DeVille, allow me to introduce myself. I said, allow me to introduce myself. And let me introduce myself. They call me Splat. Blackville, that's right, we right here, baby. Come here, nobody looking.